Testing, testing, testing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Con First Comedy Skit. I was expecting about 50,000 people, but so far, as you can see, it's just me, myself, and I, and you watching this. So my friend, I guess every comedy, people tend to be funny or there's some kind of message behind it. And, comedy is supposed to, or it should be, bringing people together and have a good time. Let's be honest. How many of us are having an awesome moment in 2020, except for Khan, right? Khan always have a good time in 2020, especially 420, right? And I guess this little comedy skit is not, it's not even about any kind of message. Actually, don't do drugs. But one of the promises that I made for myself in 2020 was able to put the bipolar poet together and make a comedy skit. And this is going to be one of them. And kids, when I say don't do drugs, I mean it. There comes a time and a place, but when you depend on a substance, it means that it controls you instead of you controlling it. Now, I know that hidden this oh, it's not even a blunt. But holy crap. Okay, it started kicking in. But when you depend on a substance, I got my coffee, the best thing in the world. But when you depend on a substance every day, you wake up, you do whatever it is that you do, then you come home and you take a shot, you hit up the blunt, or this is not a blunt. What I don't want to drift away from the story, but anyways, the reason why moderation works for me is because I don't feel like I need to wake up and depend on a substance to get high. Now you might ask, Khan, is meditation a substance? Are you kidding me? Yes. Money, addicted to money, power, greed, heroin, crack, laughing, crying, a downer. Right? Everything is a drug.
Wait, what do you mean, bro? You really confused, bro. Are you really confusing me, bro?
So when people ask me, Khan, are drugs dangerous? Yes. Any kind of, any mind altering, any addiction, it's dangerous because you are dependent on it either to run away from your problems or you are just trying to kill time, and that's no way to live life. I used to be that guy where, the 9 to 5, work, smoke weed, party on the weekend, had a good time. But I've come to realize that you know, there are so much more in life than doing, than depend on a substance to feel alive. Because my friend, right now, I'm pretty alive. You know what I mean? Wisdom. Let's face it, we all addicted to something. Dang. So sad. So sad. You know, some of you might be addicted to sex. Some of you might be addicted to toys, whatever. But moderation, my friend, is the key. Why? Even if you are completely zen, in a meditative state, in my opinion, when we can only feel one emotion, we are not a whole. It's like when we look at the colors of the spectrum. There, you can't define one without the other. And life, you got to go through phases, different emotions. And I think moderation is the key. I grew up with this. I grew up with cannabis. I understand, that it I understand the war on drugs and how cannabis was, there were propagandas about cannabis and that, you smoke cannabis, you can die. And it took me a long time to, to overcome that, to reverse my thinking, because my whole life, right, I was raised to be as like a not a non-druggie, right? Not supposed to be a druggie. I mean, the only thing that I was like considered drugs when I was like 18 was cigarettes and alcohol. And then, with this whole thing, it kind of completely changed my life in a sense where after I learned about it, then I learned about society, then I started smoking it. That's when I started learning about myself. And I get to the point where, like, I loved, I not loved, I love weed, but I cannot be smoking it every day. So imagine from a guy that smoked, that been smoking for a while, right? 5 years. um, Imagine every day, right? Every day smoking pot, and now here I am, started my journey back in April 19th of 2019. So it's roughly in a couple of months, it's going to be 2 years, and here I am trying to make this comedy skit, being in front of the camera, smoking this blunt, even though I'm trying to go on that spiritual journey. And anything can be spiritual. Spiritual, for me, it just means acknowledging everything around us is alive. Everything around us. But but 2020 been it's life changing in a sense, where mentally, physically, spiritually. How are we doing? I feel like some of us are like in the awakening moment, and others are in like in so spiritual. What's the word I'm looking for? Scared. Some are excited, but I say mostly fear and and being scared. And I mean, I would be too, okay, with this whole damn flu happening, and then we don't know where the economy is gonna go. Uh, Everything is fluctuating. People get, watching the presidential election is like a boxing match, like watching Mike Tyson. Oof. I have to agree. I was just on YouTube and I was watching, like, sometimes there are like recommended videos, right? And you know, I truly believe this, okay? In you take any athletes, right? Like Mike Tyson, like was one of the top during his time, and in my opinion, he's still one of the tops, right? There was a comment on Twitter, I think, like, how would you like to get punched with how would you like to take a punch from Mike Tyson and receive 1 Bitcoin? I was like, homie, if you do that, you can get the 1 Bitcoin, but most likely you'll be dead. Oh God, but man, a lot of crazy things happen on the internet. But when it comes to special, like like talented, well, I mean, all athletes are talented. Is how well they push themselves, right? And when you push yourself beyond the limit, beyond the suffering of the pain, and and all of the, like, the negative voices, like, oh, you can't do it, you should give up. And I mean, they conquered it in a sense where I'm gonna keep going, right? And that's the mentality that most of us will never, you know, get an opportunity to answer or even experience. And I think almost every when I listen to, like, documentaries of, like, professional athletes, man, the pain and suffering is like nothing. Like, they'll just keep going because in their mind it's like, I have to accomplish that. And that is, that's a superpower. That's a superpower, right? Crazy. I guess with every comedy skit, for me, it's able to talk about a topic, and then and can we is this true? Can we laugh about it? Can we just have a conversation? And sometimes, even when it comes to, like, family and friends, right? When you take emotional topics such as religion, politics, uh, the definition of wealthy, it's really strange in a sense where, well, it's not strange. It just it's perspective, and I think human are rational creature, right? We are a rational creature, and 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 because of that, because we are rational creature, it means that we're being irrational at the same time, because I feel like the majority of people want to do good, or the way that they perceive whatever they are perceiving or we are perceiving, we think that is good for other people. If that's how we present ourselves, most of us, when we go out in the street, we present ourselves nicely, we conduct nicely. right?
I'm rich, bitch.
Nobody wants to be like, I'm an asshole. Hey, babe, what's your name? Yeah, yeah. Can I get your number and take you to Fug? No. What do you mean, no? Bitch, better give me your motherfucking number. uh,
Con, you're so funny.
if we have a choice, would you be happy, angry, jealous, or grateful? And those are emotional. Those are our emotions, right? Strong emotions that we, on a daily basis, we go through humans. We experience that. And what is present? What is being present? Being present is just, for at least for me, okay? At least for me, it's like I acknowledge the fresh air. I appreciate the smell, the clean, fresh smell, like, of like my urine. I peed everywhere for the last, like, I don't know, like 10 years. Con, you should get a ticket for public indecency. But yeah, the first time when I got a ticket for public indecency, it wasn't me that were doing the flashing. I remember this was probably in high school, and it was on Mardi Gras, right? And we went down to Pioneer Square. So it's like, the starting part of downtown. And it was during Mardi Gras. I had no idea what Mardi Gras at the time was, right? And, I remember like people were flashing, people were wearing beads. And, when girls flash at you, you're supposed to give them beads, and it's supposed to be a celebration, right? And I remember I did it to someone, right? It was so embarrassing. Like, we got a ticket. The cop was like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" And at the time, I was scared. I was like in high school, And I was like, "Oh shit, do we do something? And then, yeah, we got a ticket. It was funny because he sat us down on the officer, sat us down on the sidewalk, and then started taking information. And I was so scared. That was like the first time, right? Like, and then we got a ticket because we were giving out bees. We were asking them. It's weird, but yeah. So that was my first time getting a ticket for public indecency, but I didn't do it.
I'm enlightened, bitches.
Man, we be hitting. But I feel like moderation. Like today, it's Christmas. So, wherever you are, like Christmas in America, right? I remember when I first came to America, Christmas was one of the holidays. And I'm talking about, I remember the first couple of gifts that I received. The first one was a penguin, and the second was an ambulance truck. And you press the button, it makes all the sounds, and it was pretty cool. And then the penguin, I was like, man, this thing is like black and white. And I just like you talk, but.
Con, you trying too hard, bro. Try again.
I guess the whole point of comedy is just to kind of mix everything together and a reflection on humanity, right? Because I think a lot of the time we are projecting, and I agree. I do it too, and that's why I spend a lot of time by myself. I spend a lot of time by asking a lot of questions, but mainly just about me. How can I improve? Because trust me, when you understand yourself, because you are part of humanity, so you understand yourself, you understand other people. And the crazy thing is, the moment we understand ourselves, we understand the species and what each other are thinking. And it's kind of like, comedy in a sense. For me, it's like able to take all of those emotions, right, and kind of like take humanity looking at itself in a mirror. Imagine that. And that's a hard picture. It's like it's like we look at us. Do we say, wow, I'm beautiful? Or do we look at ourselves and we hate ourselves? Don't be a hater. I got 99. Ain't what? So I probably spoke about 5 times a day, during this year, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself, in a sense where, like, hey, you gotta enjoy life sometimes. Some people burn incense. Some people, I guess what I'm trying, the excuse that I'm trying to make for myself is like, we all got a reason. You don't gotta explain. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you enjoy with moderation, you know, then do it. And, Christmas is one of those times where it's like, hey, if you're gonna build, so sad, so sad. Excuse me. If you are going to build a personal brand, it's kind of like how you live your daily lives, right? If somebody were to put a camera on it 24/7, would you be okay with it? And I guess what I guess, like, I guess if you were to put a camera on it, on your life 24/7, and you present it to the world, would you be okay with it? And I think if everyone is cool with that, it means that we're open. We're not afraid to be who we are, because in any society, you want people to be creative, and that's how we evolve as a species. But a lot of the time, we only put what's perfect, what's, like, why would anyone pay for ads to put out a bad message, right? It's always the good message. And I guess building a brand, or it pretty much showing people who you are, like, in your daily life, daily life. So, and I think that's important, because you know it's like, you are who you are, but creative in your own way. And but yeah, I say building a brand, just, I guess the message, be you, be kind, and be real. Like, because we all go through emotion, and I think, at least for me, I know my purpose is like comedy, bring people together, reflection, and I think once we understand ourselves, then we can move forward. I guess this is not much of a comedy. It's all kind of like me talking about this kind of stuff when I'm high. I love to talk about life, what are we doing here? Like, what is the meaning? What is the purpose? And I think cannabis kind of gave me that, like, I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, right? I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, in a sense where like, why do I have to care so much? It's out of my control. What's in my control is how I utilize my time, and and how I'm feeling inside. Where am I going, right? Where am I going in this infinite universe? There are two things that are infinite, my friend. Actually, a couple of things, right? Numbers are infinite. The universe is infinite. And the last one, my friend, you must remember the one thing that is infinite in this universe are dumb bitches.
No. No.
So, my friend, Merry Christmas. This is where I'm at on my journey. I'm happy. I've been spending a lot of time learning about cryptocurrency, but I talk about it because I understand the value of it. And you know, y'all should get Bitcoin. Not a financial advice, but everyone's buying Bitcoin, right? Like, have like $20, $30, $50, $100 on a monthly basis, and just kind of like set it aside and think of it as like your bank account. It's like a piggy bank. Learn how to store it, learn how to learn how to put it on a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet, it basically just, imagine sending an email, right? But instead of sending email, you're sending codes, and that codes represent Bitcoin. And it's just you and the recipient. And then you might ask, who's the one that's running the network? The miners. It's kind of like they're the servers. They're doing the transactions algorithms, and they get rewarded. But yeah, I think it's going to be the future of money, and come to think of it, I think Bitcoin would be the perfect value for AI. And the people that are running like all these miners eventually going to be like the constitution, they're the new like lawmakers, believing in freedom, liberty, and justice and stuff like that.
What you mean? My head hurts. My head hurts. Stop.
Yeah, but that's where we are in the end of 2020, and then we are going into 2021. Life is beautiful, going accordingly. You gotta put in the work if you want to, if you want something, you gotta put in the work. And I think a lot of the time we have a mindset where we are always like wanting more and more and more, but then once we realize that we have enough, we're just kind of like, I'm just living it, baby, just living it. But always try to be better than who you were yesterday. So where were you? So 2019, 20, 2021. So where were you 2 years ago? Are you still in the same place? Are you doing a lot better? Are you where you're supposed to be? Think about it. And where do you want to be in the next three years? Yeah, man, when you spend a lot of time by yourself, you started thinking, what do I want to do? What is the purpose of life, you know? And sometimes I think we should just sit down, smoke a blunt, and just look at the stars, right? What is out there?
I'm rich, bitch.
What is out there? It ain't just us. We came from there. Dumb bitches. What did the ancients knew that we don't? Or maybe being suppressed, which is spirituality. Because once you understand that you have the power, like everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And frequency to me is just from selfish to selfless, right? And if everyone can recognize that, it's like we have the power to create. And that's profound. Profound in a sense where, like Tesla said, I use Tesla because Tesla is the most popular company right now. Elon is like the second richest man. Oh my god. But it's exciting, right? It's like what's out there? What is out there? Or what's in here? The deepest have we been to like the core of the earth is as bright as the sun. Can you imagine that? What the fuck? So my friend, this is what I consider to be a meaningful conversation.
Con, lay off the crack, bro.
But you don't wanna, I don't wanna have too much of these kind of conversation because I want you to be the more of the doing, thinking. But this is like holiday in a sense where gotta enjoy, probably my fifth time this year. So I'm happy from a very as long as you're happy with the choices, whether it was lessons or mistakes, think of it is happening for you and how it can help you overcome. It's like when we think of God, the universe, the Almighty, the Supreme Being is there to make us better, to give us this internal, like, kindle fire to our soul, to make us keep going, right? And that's life. The purpose of life is to grow as a whole, not just one person. Okay, don't be a dumb bitch. Okay, don't be a dumb bitch. But my friend, I hope you enjoy this little, I think comedy is, first of all, it's to let you know who I am. And because once you understand a character or a person, you can, you understand them on a deeper level when they make jokes. And that's, I call that, like, friends, right? Friends, because they're willing to listen and be like, what is this guy saying? What is his message, right? And I guess, that is the question. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And what is the message behind, the character that I'm playing? Or with comedy, because I think when I go on video and my real life, which is pretty much similar, but then I feel like at the same time, I'm like, instead of me communicating with one person, I'm just kind of like, I'm just me doing me. And then those are like, what is this guy doing? And that's how we become friends. But I guess the message is very simple, my friend. you gotta drop the pipe and you gotta pick up the blunt. Kids, and don't do drugs. I'm rich, bitch. Merry Christmas. Wherever you are, have a good time with your family. And make sure you get back in shape for 2021. Because it is going to be a great year. I think everything is going to be great. So just sending you love wherever you are. And I hope you enjoy this, this first comedy skit that I do, even though it was more like, I think it's comedy in a sense where like you get to see me smoke, and some of you are probably drinking, some of you are smoking, whatever, or some of you might be sober and just watch this and be like, oh my god, I never see this crazy side of Khan. Bitch, I'm crazy. So much love wherever you are, and I will see you in the part 2. Have a nice day.